¿Qué pasa YouTube? 6ftHax here. Have for you guys today a pretty interesting and in my opinion good Ubers battle, but you guys can decide on that when the match is actually over. If you do enjoy this video, make sure to hammer that like button down below. Let me know what your favorite legendary to use in battle in general is in the comment section below, because that's what mainly Ubers is. It's a lot of legendary Pokemon, and I haven't uploaded an Ubers battle in a while. I know you guys saw the Alolan Muck on there. This team I originally got off the forums. Unfortunately, my Mega Mints didn't go through, so I'm not gonna get to use that, but I did get my Giratina to go through, so that's pretty awesome. And actually Giratina does match up decently well in this game. Going into this battle, obviously Arceus, an absolutely terrifying mon to deal with. Xerneas could also be a huge problem if it's Geomancy, then Ho-Oh hits absurdly hard. My opponent just had a terrifying team, just in general. So I'm going to be leading off with my Giratina, as he's going to be leading off with the Ho. Turn 1, I'm going to go straight for the Thunder Wave, as he actually switches directly into a Xerneas, which is actually pretty good for me, because now if this is going to be Geomancy, it is now paralyzed. It's not going to be outspeeding anything at +2 speed, which is going to be excellent for me. So I'm going to take this chance to just hard switch right into my Primal Groudon, knowing that I should be able to take anything that this thing wants to go for, and then in return either knock it out or I can just get on my rocks as he goes for the Moonblast. He does get a little bit lucky here and he gets a crit if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this really sucks because now obviously Groudon is at lower HP, but things are going to get very exciting, as you guys will find out. So he's gonna switch into his Arceus Ground. Funny enough, because the Arceus I have on my team is Ground too. As I get on my Stealth Rocks, I'm thinking, okay, he can probably go for Toxic here. SD maybe. I don't expect them to be Defog because I don't typically see Arceus Ground that have Defog. So I switch into my Tapu Lele here, knowing that I should be able to outspeed him the next turn depending on his spread and what kind of set he is. As he actually does go for the Defog, which is really damn annoying, because now the fact that this thing is not only a giant threat for me to have to switch into, it's not going to be a very annoying Defogger that he can easily keep throughout this match, which means he's going to be able to keep off Stealth Rocks, which means I'm not going to be able to get them up to weaken this Ho, which is going to be absurdly annoying. So Psychic looks like it's maybe a 3-hit KO depending on how things go, but because he does have leftovers and he took that hit so well, I'm pretty sure he's a defensive set, and there's a chance that he could expect me to switch directly into my Giratina, which is the best thing on my team to take a Sacred Fire from this monster, and I can also take a non-offensive Brave Bird pretty well. And he does actually end up going for the Toxic, which isn't entirely too bad because now I could potentially knock him out with another Psychic, but because I'm expecting him to predict that, I'm actually going to pull a pretty good double switch here, expecting his switch into either the Mewtwo or the Lunala here, as he does end up switching into Lunala. And this is absolutely amazing because I'm 125 billion% going for the Pursuit. There's no way he's staying in, and there's no way I'm not clicking Pursuit. So I get off a huge amount of damage on that Lunala, which is excellent. And now all I need to do is just do a bit more damage and it's going to be gone. Or if I can somehow get up Stealth Rocks, that's also going to be amazing. So I do predict them to go for Toxic here, expecting me to now switch into Giratina, knowing that I could have expected him to do that earlier. And obviously I don't want to take a Sacred Fire or a Brave Bird, and I do get pretty lucky and I'm able to get the knockoff Poison, which I guess kind of makes up for his crit on my Giratina. Not Giratina, but Groudon earlier, because obviously having Groudon at higher HP would have meant that I could switch it into an extra attack or two. So this turn, I do more or less expect him to go for the Roost. Honestly, him Sacred Firing there wouldn't have been a bad play either. So if he had burned my Giratina, it would have been a win-win for me. But he does end up going for the Roost, as I then go for the Hex, which is luckily going to be an easy 2-hit KO. Not gonna lie, was hoping that that was going to do a little bit more damage, but this is a pretty bulky Ho from the looks of it. And he does get off the Toxic on my Giratina, which is going to turn out to be kind of annoying. Like, it's not really game changing, but it is going to be really annoying in this matchup, I feel like. So here I can definitely go for the Draco. I can go for another Hex if I really wanted to. I could also maybe gone for a double switch. There was really no reason for me to go for Thunder Wave. Him switching into his Arceus Ghost here was a pretty decent middle ground play, and because I have Thunder Wave, he probably knows that I don't have Will-O-Wisp and that I don't have Toxic. So that's good information for him, but that's really bad for me. So I'm going to switch out here into my Tapu Lele, thinking that maybe he's going to try and go for the Toxic again, or just go for the Recover, but he does make a really nice aggressive play here, expects me to switch out and not stay in, and gets off a solid amount of damage on my Tapu Lele. Unfortunately, another one will definitely knock me out, but I am faster than him, which is really nice because I'm able to get off of this damage, but he ends up going for the Recover. I really don't agree with him going for Recover there. That's not a bad play though, but I do luckily have the Taunt on this Lele, and I guess he didn't know that, so him recovering there, I guess in the long run, really wasn't too bad of a play, but I'm going to be able to abuse this now because he does try to go for the Recover again, and now I can potentially get off another huge hit with Psychic, or I can go for the safer and middle ground play and going for the Moonblast because that also did cover him switching into Lunala, which I honestly didn't think he would switch directly into this. I really thought he was going to leave in the Arceus because Moonblast might have actually been able to knock out this Lunala if I remember the damage calc correctly, but I do go for the Psychic and I'm going to get knocked out by the Toxic, but that's not entirely too bad as I will be able to bring in my Muck here. Even though I can't go for the Shadow Sneak, I am still Assault Vested. There's no way this Lunala is going to be doing too much damage to me unless he crits me, and that Focus Blast did 0. That only did like, I think 5, maybe 10%. That actually did nothing, as I do just go for the Pursuit again, not wanting to risk him potentially switching out, as he does now get a free switch into this Groudon. And this is actually really bad, because if this is like Double Dance Groudon, it could potentially just end up winning right here, depending on how things go. So I can't do anything to this Groudon with my Muck. Like, I guess I can stay in and go for the knockoff and hope that I Toxic it, but I mean, him going for the Precipice Blade really isn't that bad of a play, but he does end up going for that, so it's a good thing I didn't leave in Muck there, as he is going to be able to go for Stealth Rocks this following turn as I go for the Hex. And I'm going to speed up this little portion here because this man is very adamant about keeping up his Stealth Rocks with this Groudon. Plus, I guess he doesn't really have too safe of a switch in to my Giratina, plus he doesn't know what my final move is, so I'm thinking that maybe he's just gonna try and switch out here or just be aggressive and wear me down with a combination of like Fire Punch and Toxic. So I defog, I think, like 2 or 3 turns in a row, not wanting to have rocks up on my side of the field, knowing that I can't really damage this Groudon too much. Plus, I don't feel comfortable in switching in my Deoxys against this because, like I said, he could easily just go for a Fire type move to wear me down. So at this point, it finally clicks that, okay, he's just going to spam Stealth Rock, so I'm going to Draco Meteor. And I guess if I had gone for the Hex on one of those 2 turns that I went for defog, I might have actually been able to knock him out with the Draco here. But either way, I guess it's not entirely too bad, as I'm going to bring in my Arceus Ground, my own Arceus Ground, which is shiny, which makes it superior to his Arceus Ground, just keep that in mind. And I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake, even if for some reason he wanted to switch into Ho. I have the Stone Edge. He also risked me just going for a free Swords Dance and then potentially just winning the game, so there's really no reason for him to have switched out here, and I didn't want to risk him having the Toxic, the Roar, or the Lava Plume to potentially burn Toxic or phase me out, as he ends up bringing in his own Arceus Ground. I don't know what status move this Arceus has, but I'm about to find out as I switch into my Groudon. I knew for a fact he was either going to go for the Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, or Toxic, and I'm hoping that it's not Toxic, and unfortunately it is Toxic. This is actually not entirely too bad because I'm still in a pretty okay position to win this battle, but my opponent is also in a really good position to win this game. So I'm just going to stay in here and I'm going to go go for the offensive move, as for some reason, yeah, actually him rewatching this, I literally have no reason why he defogged there. Like, defogging made absolutely no sense. I don't know why. Like, even just rewatching that, I drew a blank. So I'm guessing he thought I would be faster. Maybe he thought I was gonna switch. Maybe he's trying to show dominance, that he doesn't need Stealth Rocks. I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to flex. But I ain't about that. So I'm going to get off a bit more damage with my Precipice Blade. In hindsight, 110% should have gone for the Stealth Rocks. Precipice Blading there was a huge misplay on my part, and actually I could have, no, right here is when I should have gone for Stealth Rocks. I should have gone for Stealth Rocks instead of going for the Fire Punch, because there was no reason for him to defog. There was a chance that he could have gone for the defog again, I guess, but if I had got up rocks here instead of me going for the fire punch, then I would have been able to bring in Arceus here and go straight for the Swords Dance, while he is either forced to go for the defog, get rid of rocks, and let me get to +4, or he goes for the Toxic and I keep up Stealth Rocks. And that is where I really think I went wrong in this battle, but things aren't too bad because I can still win this, as I'm going to go for my Z move here. He of course switches into the Ho-Oh, and I got so upset, man, when I saw him bring in the Ho-Oh. I should have just gone straight for the first Earthquake instead of going for the Z move, but hindsight is 2020. There's nothing I can do about it now, and this is where if I had got up Stealth Rocks, they really would have helped, because this Ho-Oh would have been knocked out to Rocks and Toxic. Yeah, I would have still wasted my Z move, but that's one less Pokemon I have to now deal with. So I'm gonna go for the Stone Edge here, knowing that he doesn't really have too safe of a switch in. I guess he could have switched into the Arceus ground, and unfortunately I missed the Stone Edge on the Mewtwo, but +2 Stone Edge doesn't knock out Mewtwo anyways. Unless I had crit him, that's the only way I would have knocked him out, so he still would have been able to live, Mega Evolve here, and hit me with the move, which I can skillfully dodge, but I don't. And he's going to get off a solid chunk of damage. I think he actually does put me in range of where the Toxic is gonna knock me out. I am down at this point, I believe 2-3, but things aren't entirely too bad. I can still win this battle. Things are still possible because I do have my Deoxys attack and I do have my Muck to kind of deal with his Xerneas. So he's gonna bring in the Ho-Oh, which if I had Stealth Rock, this damn thing wouldn't be here, but hindsight 2020. As I bring in my Deoxys, I have to go for the Psycho Boost. That's my only move that's gonna knock out this Ho-Oh, and I guarantee a knockout with Psycho Boost. As down it goes. At this point, he can bring in the Arceus, which I have the Ice Beam, but I am a -2, so I don't think I can knock him out. And if he does bring in the Xerneas, that gives me a potential free switch into my Muck, as I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam here, expecting him to go for the Recover. As I don't knock him out, I do, however, get the Freeze, and that basically means I win the battle. I knock out this Arceus with another Ice Beam, I switch out against the Xerneas, and then I just win. If he had gone for the Recover there, he definitely would have won this battle, I think. I still kind of feel I might have been able to win, depending on how things went, but I think the odds were definitely more in his favor at that point. And this is why I said you guys can determine on whether or not this was a good battle. Honestly, I would have uploaded this win or loss. Like, if you had won, I don't care. I really felt this was a good battle. Plus, this is one of those battles where I knew the instant that I just really screwed up, and that's the moment where I just potentially lost myself the battle, and it's a moment where I need to learn from. Like I said, I should have gone for Stealth Rocks instead of fire punching the Arceus, and throughout that whole turn I was kind of flip-flopping in my mind, like, do I want to get more damage? Should I get up Stealth Rocks? And I honestly should have got up Rocks, because the scenarios would have led to me potentially getting up to +2 with Arceus and then Ho-Oh being knocked out, or me getting up to +4 with Arceus and then just winning the battle from there. But hey, that is what happens sometimes. You get screwed over by hacks, and I had a 10% chance to win there. I took it and I got the freeze, and yeah, good game to Noland. That is an unfortunate part of Pokemon that we all have to accept. I lost plenty of games due to hacks, and it's just, man, you gotta get over it. I would have been upset, trust me, I would have been very upset, but hey, in the end, that's just what happens. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. Make sure to hammer on that like button down below if you did. Thank you guys for your support. I'll see you all tomorrow. Later, everybody.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in a knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion, but when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.